Hello friends, my name is Dr. Vivek Agarwala. I am a medical oncologist and hemato-oncologist working at Narayana Super Speciality Hospital, Howrah and RN Tagore Hospital, Mukundpur. Today we will discuss about oral cancers. It is one of the most common form of cancers affecting the Indian population, and it is also not so uncommon in the Western population. And especially in this part of India, that is in West Bengal, it is a very important cancer. So the cancers that occur inside the mouth, they are known as the oral cavity cancers. Oral cavity cancers, along with the other cancers in the head and neck region, like the piriform sinus or the oropharynx, like the supraglottis, glottis, that is the larynx, and the inferior part of the larynx, that is hypopharynx. So all together constitute as head and neck cancers, and they have a common etiology. So we will discuss about the risk factors and causes of head and neck cancers, especially oral cancers. So talking about the risk factors, there are two main risk factors for oral cancer: tobacco use and consumption of alcohol. Tobacco is the most common reason which is responsible for more than 90% of oral cancers. In our country, smokeless tobacco, that is chewed tobacco, has more important etiological relations with oral cancer, and smoking tobacco in any form, whether it is cigarette, cigar, bidi, pipes, so all forms of tobacco leads to cancer. Tobacco has more than 60 carcinogenic substances, and tobacco is one of the most important causes of head and neck cancers. Apart from tobacco, consumption of alcohol is also increases the risk of head and neck cancers, and alcohol and tobacco, again, when they are taken together, represents a higher risk for causing oral cancers. Now, apart from tobacco and alcohol, there are other important causes. This includes prolonged sun exposure, which exposes the skin to UV light, includes human papilloma virus infection. So HPV has many strains, and there are different strains that causes cervical cancer. There are different strains that causes oral cancer, and this HPV infection is usually acquired through oral sex and through multiple sexual partners. So human papilloma virus infections acquired through sexual activity is another important cause. Also, men are known to have more oral cancers as well as head and neck cancers as compared to females. Fairer skin also represents one of the important causes, because if you are having a fair skin, you are having a less protection from UV light. People who are older than 45 years of age are also having a higher risk of having oral cancers. Poor oral hygiene and dental hygiene is also one of the important causes. If you are having poor dental care, then there are frequent trauma because of the poor formed teeth and dental trauma to our oral cavity, and frequent such kind of trauma may lead to oral cancer. Also, poor diet is responsible for oral cancer. A diet which is less in fruits and vegetables, less intake of vitamin A, intake of more betel nut, and a diet which is less in antioxidants. So these can be responsible for oral cancer. And also people who have weakened immune system. So when you have weakened immune system, then also you are more prone to oral cancer. Now, after knowing the different risk factors and causes of head and neck cancers and oral cancers, we will discuss how to prevent oral cancers. So the first way of prevention is to quit tobacco. We discuss how tobacco is one of the most important causes, and all forms of tobacco use you should quit if you want to avoid oral cancer. Also, You should, if you drink alcohol, you should drink in moderation. It is said that if you are drinking more than 3.5 drinks or pegs per day, this can lead to 3 to 4 times the higher risk of causing oral cancer. So if you are drinking alcohol, drink always in moderation. Also, HPV vaccination can go about a very important measure in order to prevent oral cancers. So HPV vaccination is also very important in your adolescent young age before you are exposed to sexual activities. Protect your lips from sun. Use sunscreens. This is also important for fair people in order to prevent cancers of the lip and oral cavity. Visit your dentist regularly. Take care about your dental hygiene, and if there are malformed teeth which are causing dental trauma, they should be removed. And practice a healthy diet which is rich in fruits, vegetables, antioxidants and vitamin A in order to prevent oral cancer. Now let us see what are the symptoms of oral cancer. So oral cancer can present as sores or painful ulcers in the mouth which are not healing. Also, there can be prolonged white or red patches on the mouth or lips. There can be bleeding from such lesions in the mouth for more than a week or so. Also, there can be lumps or swellings inside your mouth or on the external surface of the skin or in the neck, which is also very important. Pain in the mouth or in the gums which is lasting for more than 2 to 3 weeks and not going. Change in the voice or hoarseness of voice, which is especially common when you are having smoking. So smokers, if they develop a recent change in the voice or hoarseness of voice which is not going, that is also a very important feature of head and neck cancers. Constant ear aches in both the ear, which is not related to any local cause, can also be a sign of oral cancer. Occasionally, numbness in the lower lips and chin can also be an important sign. And people who use dentures. So for people who use dentures, if they are having difficulty in wearing the dentures, or if they are having difficulty in adjusting their dentures which were usually fitting well earlier. So these are the symptoms of oral cancer. Now let us look at the danger signs of oral cancer, and what are those danger signs where you should become wary and start screening and actively visiting somebody so as to treat the oral cancer. So these danger signs are very important, which should prompt you to visit an oncologist or a head and neck oncosurgeon for the proper diagnosis of oral cancers or head and neck cancers. So as we already discussed, oral cancers have very diverse clinical presentations, and therefore they often can go undetected. We frequently have many patients who have these issues for months, but yet they don't visit the doctors early. So you should know these red flag signs which should prompt you to visit the doctor early for an earlier diagnosis and treatment. Remember, if you are diagnosing it early, the diagnosis will be at an earlier stage. There is earlier treatment, and there is a higher chance of a successful treatment and having a prolonged disease-free remission. So, as I was discussing earlier, that one of the important presentations of oral cancer is as white patches, which are called as leukoplakia, or red patches known as erythroplakia. So these leukoplakia and erythroplakia patches are earlier stages of oral cancer. People who are chronic smokers or chronic tobacco chewers or use betel nut chronically can have these erythroplakic or leukoplakic patches early. and these patches means that you should be under a very close follow-up of any head and neck surgeon, so that any cancer which comes is diagnosed early. So this is very important. Also, if you are having any non-healing ulcer for more than 2 weeks despite using different treatments, local treatments for it, and which is progressively increasing in size, then these ulcers can mean cancer. Remember, these non-healing ulcers can often be painless to start with, which may not bother you, but non-healing ulcers and painless ulcers do mean oral cancers. So you need to go to your head and neck surgeon urgently for proper diagnosis and treatment. Other presentations like toothache, which is unilateral, persistent and not relieved on treatment, proper antibiotics, and loosening of teeth. So these can be features of alveolar cancer, which is also a cancer, oral cavity cancer, which is arising in the gums. So these are also very important features that you should keep in mind when you are having toothache, which is unilateral, persisting, not responding to conservative management, with loose teeth. Also, as I discussed earlier, a denture that was fitting earlier well, now not fitting, is also one of the important features, and should raise an alarm as to whether there is any abnormality in the oral cavity which is leading to cancer or not. Now we will discuss regarding how to diagnose oral cancers. So, for proper diagnosis of oral cancers, a proper physical examination is the most important way. And in a proper physical examination, when your oral cavity is fully opened with a very good light source, your physician will examine, and therefore any small lesions which are there or any patches, red or white, they would be evident. So a proper physical examination by an oncologist or a head and neck surgeon or an ENT surgeon is very important for noting down what are your physical findings and whether they are suspicious for oral cancer or not. Apart from physical examination, examination of the inner part of your throat through a Hopkins examination or an endoscopic examination or a laryngoscopic examination can also be required sometimes for diagnosis of head and neck cancers. Also, if there are any suspicious lesion, your surgeon would want to take a biopsy from the lesion. Biopsy is usually a small chunk of tissue that is taken from any suspicious lesion for proper diagnosis. Often these lesions are not very specific. Often they have to take a brush biopsy, sometimes, which is like a scraping of your tissue on the buccal mucosa and putting them on the slides to see whether these cells are malignant or not. So these kinds of fine needle aspirations or brush cytologies, brush biopsies or a core biopsy sometimes is required for your diagnosis. And a histopathological diagnosis is an absolute must for diagnosis of oral cancers, because oral cancers usually evolve from an early stage of dysplasia to an aggressive stage of cancer slowly, and you do not want to do aggressive treatment for earlier lesions like dysplasia, because they can undergo remission also. So a histopathological diagnosis of invasive squamous cell carcinoma and invasive carcinoma is required for diagnosis. Often X-rays are also advised to look at the dentures, look at the alveolar jaw, the jawbone, as well as your chest to see whether there is any spread of the disease or not. Often we have to do CT scan of the head and neck region as well as the thorax for proper staging, For staging, sometimes a PET CECT whole body is also required, often in cancers which are more involving soft tissues like the tongue, or to have a better idea of the soft tissues and vessels, MRI study may also be required of the head and neck region for diagnosis. So after a proper diagnosis and treatment, then we come to the part of treatment. And for proper treatment of any head and neck cancer, staging is very much a most essential step. Usually in stage 1 oral cancers and stage, there is an option of, if it is a very small area, a small brachytherapy or a radiotherapy can be given, but usually for early stages oral cancer, surgery is the most important way to go. For locally advanced oral cavity cancers, surgery is often assisted by plastic surgeons, whereby the area of surgery is replaced by flaps so as to improve the functional quality. In cases of cancer where nodal involvement is there, which is already spread to the nodes in the neck, or where the margins are positive, they will require also adjuvant treatment like adjuvant radiotherapy or chemotherapy, which is going along with radiotherapy. And in locally advanced cases which is not resectable, nowadays there is also a role of neoadjuvant chemotherapy coming up. And if the disease is recurrent, advanced, not feasible for surgery, then in these cases usually they are treated with palliative systemic therapy as well as palliative radiotherapy. Nowadays we have many multiple options of systemic therapy, including immunotherapy and targeted therapy like cetuximab, which is available for treatment. So in a nutshell, today we have discussed how oral cavity cancer presents, what are the risk factors, how we can prevent oral cavity cancers, and what are the red flag signs, how to diagnose them early and go for what are the investigations, how to treat them. And remember, cancer is curable if it is detected early. So being aware of what are the signs and symptoms, being aware of what you should do and what you should not do is very important. And it is important to spread the message for healthy lifestyle also, so as to prevent these cancers, because prevention is always better than cure. Thank you, and once again I thank you for your patient listening. Myself, Dr. Vivek Agarwala, medical oncologist and hemato-oncologist from Narayana Super Speciality Hospital, Howrah, and R.N. Tagore Hospital, Mukundapur. I am always there for any comments, suggestions, and any expert opinion that you want from me. Thanks a lot.